Alright, all you late night delivery racers out there, welcome back to Under the Radar. And this week's Stunts of the Week goes to none other than Logan 7541 with his said stunt of Project 67, and of course, I Can Fly by the Marty Super. And the reason why these two stunts got picked, well, because the first one I believe was done with magic from witches, or at least from Matilda from the movie Matilda. And the second stunt, well, I got a feeling she's gonna need some form of health insurance or honorable mention after she's gonna spend the next 6 to 8 months, possibly a year, inside of a cast due to the injuries she suffered from hitting that tree and getting a severe case of whiplash, and according to the doctors, a concussion on top. Yikes, that's a cake I don't want to eat. But besides cakes and apparently severe injuries that took place on the top of mountains, I think it's time for us to get ready to rev our engines and see who was the best of the best of this instant classic month like no other for another edition of the GTA Online Top 5 Tracks of the Month. And the first track that made it to this elite list, or should I say deathmatch, comes from none other than Vintage 99 with his said deathmatch of GoldenEye Damn. And the reason why this made it in, not only because the nostalgia in me loves it, but the fact that you're fighting on a thin road path against your friends, that if you make one false move, you could fall to the ground below, is definitely a plus in my book. And not to mention, leaves little room for error when you're playing it. And the only tip of advice I have for you fans out there for this said deathmatch is watch out for the mule. And no, not a donkey, maestro, the actual car that can run through and actually run you over if an opponent can get in it before you can. So try to take out that mule at all costs, or yeah, this match is gonna be very one-sided. Just saying. And the next deathmatch that we have up, that comes from, once again, Vintage 99 with his said deathmatch of GoldenEye Runway. And the same reason applies to this one as the last one that we mentioned. The reason why it got in is because of the nostalgia factor of the little kid at the age of 10 years old playing GoldenEye 007 for the N64 and seeing the fact that this looks just the same, included with not only a tank but also a plane you can fly, is definitely a plus in our book. Now, the only downside I can say about this map is the only weapon you get a chance to use is grenades. So the only warning I have for you out there, for you grenade tossers out there who wants to take on this map, beware of the tank. If anybody who gets in that tank, they can instantly get at least ballpark range about 10 kills before it's destroyed with your grenade fire. Yeah, just about 10 kills. So make sure you're able to take it out before that happens. And the next deathmatch that made it in from yesteryear and was a part of the Indie Awards at one point in its career comes from the creator Liam 2000 with his said deathmatch of Base Wars Fort Zacundo. And the reason why this made it in for the tracks of the month once again is not only because of the upgraded weapons, but the upgraded vehicles that he decided to include for this said deathmatch, including now Buzzard attack choppers, and even a couple of cool old school vehicles that were included that was in the original map, including the Hydra and the Insurgent, and definitely our good old friend, the Rhino tank. And the only bit of advice we have for you fans out there in this land, air, and a possibly sea battle, if you're able to escape this map with all the carnage, is to make sure you get in a vehicle immediately the second this battle starts, because I got a feeling your friend is gonna probably try to race you to one to take you out. And just in case they get in one before you do, there are plenty of rockets lurking about on the battlefield to take them out. So, yeah, use one and good luck. And the next track, an actual track that made it in for the tracks of the month for this month, comes from the creator Vax4223 with his said track, Drivers vs. Police. And the reason why in the world we decided to pick this crazy Need for Speed cops versus robbers sort of track is not only because it's a 15-mile long race that involves you jumping your way and racing your way through Route 68 to get away from the cops, but also because of the fact that you get a chance to use all vehicles across the board to actually use to get away from them. And the only tip of advice that we have for you race fans out there for this track is to make sure you have bulletproof tires. I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you have some form of bulletproof tires, because if you don't, let's just say this race is going to be a big oversized headache with your car getting its tires flattened just about every quarter of a mile, maybe less. So get those tires bulletproof and you should win this race. That's if you can dodge your way through all the cops that will be chasing you down. Just saying. And the last but not least track that we have up for this month comes from the creator Jojo Mikumraisin, or Jojo Mikumari Raisin. Sorry, the name was a little bit confusing at first, with their said track, GP of Anger. And the reason why in the world we decided to pick this classic and beautiful racetrack is not only because of the fact that you get a chance to race on this track with all vehicles across the board, with the exception of the gun runners vehicles that have the special abilities to them, is the fact that he was able to make this track look so cool. Yeah, definitely that. And the fact that he also added a pit lane for authenticity for this said track. Not bad. Not bad. And the only tip of advice that we have for you fans out there, speaking of the pit lane, is to make sure you use that with caution, because let's just say if you take that shortcut, there is a couple of slow down pressure pads there that will slow your vehicle down at the cost of taking it. So yeah, use it, but be careful. And with that said, for this month, folks, wraps it up for another edition of the GTA Online Top 5 Tracks of the Month. And I guess with that said, we might as well head back into this music one more time. And when we return, we'll be back with the final segment for Under the Radar for this week, right after this. So don't get lost in the madness just yet, folks, and stay tuned.